I have been hearing about this Billable Genie in Facebook groups and online chat boards. Have you guys heard about it yet? Well, on today's podcast, I get to interview Sam Valenzuela. He presented at the Southeast Collision Conference. He had a 2-hour class, and he talked about a few of the products that they have, the Billable Genie being one of them. And I don't want to tell you too much. I'm going to let Sam share it with you because I don't want to totally butcher this and screw it up. But it's basically letting people figure out the billable hours and rates and that kind of thing without being this crazy mathematician. Shops are raving about this. So I definitely think you all are going to want to check this out. So take it away, Sam.
Welcome to Body Bangin', your podcast for all things body. Auto body, that is. And now, introducing Body Bangin's host, Mickey Woods of Mickey Woods Marketing. Mickey is a former auto collision center owner and is now a marketing and business development expert to shops across the globe.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Body Bangin' podcast. I have for you here a special guest, Sam Valenzuela, who just spoke today at the Southeast, that word, Collision Conference out in South Carolina. So, Sam, welcome to the podcast.
Great. Thank you for having me. Great to be here.
Yeah. So Sam talked today about, I'm sure, a lot of different things. I didn't get to hear it, but you can kind of share with our listeners what exactly the gist of what you were talking about today.
Sure. Today primarily was to share with the people in the room our new Power Pack software suite.
Okay.
That consists of 3 separate modules: Labor Rate Hero, Billable Genie, and Number Nerd. And so
I love that.
We went through a brief overview, brief demonstration of those three products.
Okay.
Kind of a 3-in-1 deal. It's all, we don't sell them separately. They're all contained in a software suite to help show shops how we can help enable them to collect for more billable hours at better rates, better labor rates.
Yeah, I belong to a lot of, what are they called? Social media, like Facebook groups. That's the word. It's late in the day for both of us. More so for you. I'm on the West Coast. But I've seen shops talking about Billable Genie on the Facebook groups, shops that are using it, people asking, how do I get the most out of my estimates and tools to write full estimates and that kind of thing. And I see Billable Genie a lot. So when I found out you were going to be a speaker and a potential guest of mine, I was like, this is cool. I'm interested to learn about it and get the information out to those that could find it helpful.
Yes. Yeah, I think there's a handful of good tools out there. A lot of educational classes. There's some, estimate scrubber kinds of software out there that can help shops write better estimates, a more complete sheet, and get those all the items that they're doing on that repair, get it on the estimate. Where Billable Genie comes in is helping provide real proof that insurers really do, in fact, pay for those things. Many of the things that they'll tell a body shop, we don't pay for that. We don't pay for that in your market. You're the only one charging for that. Those kind of word tracks that shops hear a lot. Billable Genie has the data from approved and paid insurance estimates, showing well over 10,000 different line items that have been paid tens of thousands, well over 100,000 times.
Wow.
And it's all in a very easy to use, simple to use, searchable database that can provide that data to a shop at their fingertips so that they can get paid for their work. Feather, prime, and block, clean a car for delivery, basic things like that, or even more advanced or rare things like a destructive weld test. And those are just a few examples. And like I say, we have 10,000 different line items.
Wow.
Things that
that's incredible.
Insurers pay for. So it's a good complement along with some of these other estimate tools out there.
Yeah, well, that of course is the biggest issue, is just getting paid. And you're the only shop that asked for,
That's right.
The typical response. So having something like this, I'm sure a lot of people are going, I wish I would have come up with that, because it's something that, it's not totally outside the box. It was just, you guys putting together a platform that allowed the data to get fed in so you can prove your case in point rather than just the traditional, well, nobody else gets paid for that, so we're not going to pay you for it. Oh, really?
That's right. That's right. Yeah. And up until Billable Genie, a shop really only has the opportunity to just talk, just using words and trying to negotiate.
Yes.
I think the shops know deep down, I think they know that other people are getting paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
But if they don't have access to the data, then they really don't know for sure. And they don't really have anything to work with.
Right.
With that negotiation. So
and it's third party. So it's not just my word against your word.
That's right. That's unrelated. A great point. We are an independent third party company. We don't come from the collision repair world. We don't come from insurance.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't really have a dog in this hunt. We just have a product that's trying to show what's really happening out there in the market. Gathering the data and making it transparent and available to all the shops so that they can get paid for their work, which of course is the right thing to do. If they do the work, they ought to get paid for it. And we have proof that they do, but not everywhere. And so this tool essentially helps them know and prove that the work they're doing is paid by insurers. And so they should be able to get paid too, all the way down to the claim number level. So it's some really powerful data.
Wow.
That's not available anywhere else. It's an exclusive set of data. And we're eager to share it with any shop that's serious about customer safety, fixing the cars right, doing the job right. They should be paid for their work. Those are the shops that we want to work with.
So I guess the question is, as a former shop owner, and we have a lot of shop owners and estimators and people that listen to this, I guess the biggest question I would have right out of the gate is how labor intensive is it? Because right now, our people in the industry are just spread so thin. We've got people doing more than they're used to doing just because we just don't have that many people. So time-wise, what does that look like for a shop?
That's a great, great question. We have intentionally designed it to be simple, easy to use, and fast, where they can look up the information they need literally in a couple minutes. And the way I look at it too is, we all have 24 hours a day to operate and live in, and we make choices about where we spend our time. Investing, even 5 or 10 minutes. That would be what, like 0.2 hours or something, 0.2, is that right? I can't even think of that now. I guess 0.1 would be 6 minutes. Yeah. So investing just 0.1, 0.2 of an hour, you think of that on an estimate. If you invest that time in Billable Genie, you might end up getting paid back 2, 3, 5, 10, 20 hours worth of time.
Right.
For a small investment.
Yeah, huge return.
So the return on investment is huge for sure. But we understand people are strapped for time. What we find works best for those subscribers of ours who are having success, they find a way to really just integrate it with their business. And it's just part of the flow.
Right.
They're working on an estimate. They know there's going to be some things that are going to get pushback from the insurers. So they'll proactively go into Billable Genie, look up some of those items, find the claim numbers, and have that ready. Sometimes they even put it in the notes on the estimate themselves. And so it really doesn't take that long. You can add a few minutes of time to an estimate in order to get paid back many hours worth of time. So
now, is this, because I haven't seen the platform myself, is this something that you could pull up like on a mobile device? So if you're outside with an adjuster and you're looking over the estimate, looking at the car, they would be able to pull up on a mobile device, or they need to be like on a tablet or on a desktop? How does that work?
I would say it works best on a larger screen. A desktop or a tablet would be better. It's a little bit maybe too much information to easily see on a mobile phone. But it could work that way. I think probably in a mobile environment, I'd probably recommend a tablet.
The tablet, yeah.
A little better. Yeah, as long as you're connected to Wi-Fi, you can pull that up. So, yeah.
That's very cool. So it's something so it's a separate system. It doesn't integrate with a management system.
That's correct. It is a standalone system. We're working on getting some level of integration done with some of the information providers' platforms, so that as we've had some customers express to us the desire to electronically send certain types of data. We'll probably start, say, with customer pay. So where there's no insurance company involved, just a customer pay. It's kind of a nice, clean, easy transaction. And we're working on a way for them to send that data to us electronically. So that there's no need for them to email us, a copy of the final estimate. They can just do it electronically. So that'll be another way to help shave some time off of that and enable them to not really have to think about it anymore. Every time they save that estimate, or maybe when they're closing out the file, probably putting it in their management system with whatever they do there, they just drop it in a directory, and our system will recognize there's a new file there, and just shoot it out to us right over the internet.
So it's almost like a tool, it's almost a data tool to validate what you have on the estimate.
It's very data driven. Yeah, we are an information provider as well, not like CCC. They're on a different level. We're focused in a certain area, but it's all about the data. Claim numbers, dates, insurance companies, year, make, and model of the vehicle, all of the not included procedures and operations that were paid on that particular repair, how many hours, what the dollar amounts, labor rates. So it's all the key repair data on those insurance paid repairs. It's all non-DRP, so there's not any direct repair data there. So non-DRP and customer pay data.
It's almost kind of reminds me of if you're an attorney going to court, it's your evidence to be able to present in the litigation.
That's right. It's kind of similar like that. And it's funny you mentioned that. I just had a case, a subscriber called me just a couple of days ago from the state of Kansas, and he won a pretty significant lawsuit. Actually, the insurer had sued him for overcharging them because it was a third-party claim kind of a situation. And he brought about 4 binders worth of information full of OEM repair procedures and position statements and P pages and whatnot. But he also had a big chunk of data from Billable Genie showing the judge and showing the court, yes, all of these items that I charged for were legitimate. They were usual and customary. And they were, in fact, paid by this same insurance company, not only in my state, but in other states as well. And he told us that that's what put him over the fence with the judge. The judge looked at all this and basically came back to the insurers, who were the plaintiff, and he was the defendant, and said, "Sorry, guys, I can't give you any money. He's due everything that he charged for. And I got plenty of evidence here that shows that you guys pay for this stuff." So he won the case. So although we don't design it for the courtroom,
of course, we
didn't build it. We didn't build it for lawyers. It has been effective, and we know it with a handful of our subscribers who do pursue small claims court cases and whatnot. They do utilize the data to show the court as proof that insurers do pay for these things, and they ought to get paid too.
Wow, that's so cool. Hey, would you like to increase the number of cars in your drive? Well, look no further. The Mickey Woods marketing team provides collision center specific marketing. We use proven techniques to not only increase your sales, but put money in your pocket. Visit us at collisioncentermarketing.com, or you can find my personal contact information in the show notes. And let's get your 2022 off to a body banging start. So there's the Billable Genie portion of it. And then we've got two other portions of the suite. So can you touch on those a little bit?
Yes. Labor Rate Hero and Number Nerd are the two other modules of the suite. Labor Rate Hero is all about, as its name implies, all about labor rates, particularly posted labor rates. And it's an advanced, fully comprehensive labor rate survey measuring and reporting system, a platform. So the easy thing for people to do is go out to our public site, laborratehero.com. And there they can check their zip code and a surrounding area and see the shops who have submitted labor rate surveys to us. This is all free. And see what the going rates are for labor in their market. And this is a huge breakthrough for the industry, because up until now, they're just supposed to trust, whatever an insurer says is the prevailing rate in the area, without any data to really back that up. And we also know that those prevailing rate reports that insurers get from other sources have some pretty significant problems. They're mostly DRP data, so it's mostly discounted rates. It does not include non-DRP rates. It does not include customer rates, and it does not include any concessions, labor rate concessions, where the insurer paid extra money to the shop to make them whole for the labor rate. And the reporting still shows the prevailing rate that the insurance company wrote on that estimate. That's the one that actually gets picked off the $50, even though they paid $125 an hour. That doesn't go anywhere. And so we capture the posted rates through Labor Rate Hero. Billable Genie is where we would capture that concession element, where a lower rate gets written by an insurance company, but they actually pay a higher rate. So the whole suite is really integrated. It's hard to talk about one without the other, because they're so integrated. But laborratehero.com is the place to go.
And that's really for anybody. Anybody can go look.
Anyone can go look. If you don't see your shop there, go ahead and click Submit Rates, so you can fill out a survey and give us a profile of your shop. And then you get a free listing on the website. It shows your name, address of the shop, and what your posted rates are. So it's it's really, it can be, if the shops make it, that we've built the platform to enable them to do something they've never been able to do. And that is to show what labor rates really are. In their market, fully transparent. So there's no mystery about it anymore. And if you had that data, you can go out to an area, click through all the shops, write their rates down on a piece of paper, do the math, find the average, which is what we also publish that there, and you'll get the same numbers that we show. There's no proprietary formula. It's all transparent for everyone to see.
So as a free user, can you just submit, or can you also see the labor rates in your area? Or is that part of what you get when you purchase the suite?
Great question. As a free user of laborratehero.com, you can see all the rates from all the shops posted in the entire country. Our entire database is out there for free. And you can also submit your own rate profile for free. And then therefore you would show up as a shop, you'd show up on the listing. It has some limited functionality compared to our paid version, which would enable a shop to just go deeper with the data. You can search broader areas. You can do searches in your area with more filters added. If you just want to look at certified shops versus non-certified shops. What's the price for a Mercedes shop? Something like that. So there's some more advanced functionality there on the paid version, but you get a lot, and probably the biggest bang for your buck, the single biggest thing, which is the data transparency, you get for free. And that's really a real breakthrough.
Yeah, that's
for
amazing.
the industry.
And now what about the numbers nerd, which is my favorite title of all?
Number nerd. So he's our little character who helps shops just have a more calculated understanding of what their labor rate could be. So we have a couple calculators. These are Number Nerd is essentially a series of labor rate calculators.
Okay.
And so we have a couple that are on the site today. One that is P&L based, or their income statement based right off their financial statements. That's probably the closest one. It really is essentially a cost of doing business perspective.
Okay.
So one way, among others, one way to look at labor rates is from a cost of doing business perspective. What labor rate do I actually need to achieve the profit that I want?
Right.
And that's what this calculator does. It essentially creates a projected P&L statement compared to your current P&L statement side by side. And as you change your labor rates and your labor costs, what effect would that have on your profitability?
That's cool.
Again, really easy, simple to use. We've done all the work building the giant spreadsheet and automating it.
Yes.
Now all they have to do is kind of type in some numbers and click calculate to get a view. And then the other calculator that's currently there is an inflation-based calculator. So this uses government data, straight taken right off the government servers, the CPI, or Consumer Price Index. And of course, we're in a very high inflation environment right now.
Yeah.
Gasoline prices and milk, food, and all kinds of things. And shops are experiencing that too.
Yeah.
So this calculator essentially enables you to say, in 1990, whatever the year is, I was paid this number. Let's take 1980. 1980, I was paid $30. What would that number be today? So you enter in 1980, $30, click calculate, and the calculator shows if I took that $30 from 1980 and inflated it by the Consumer Price Index number year by year by year, I end up with today, $102 or something.
Right.
Like that. And what oftentimes I think shops don't always understand at first until we explain it to them. Those two numbers, $30 and $102, are actually the same value.
Right.
They're the same number. You're just kind of going through a time machine.
Yes.
The stuff, the basket of goods that cost $30 back then,
right,
cost $102 today.
Right.
You're not getting any more for that.
Yes. Yes.
You're just staying even.
Right.
And so we do have shops who literally have been customers of ours who were in business in 1980. They were collecting $30 then, and now they're collecting $55.
Right. Right.
Half of what they should be in terms of an inflation calculation.
Right.
The other way to think about that is it would be the equivalent of them collecting $15 back in 1980 instead of 30. They're actually collecting half of the value of what they did back then.
Right.
Today, they're not going. They're going backwards. I guess.
Yes.
And so this Number Nerd labor rate inflation calculator just lets you see that with your own eyes, and it makes it very plain. Then when you calculate the amount of money that has been left on the table over that time frame, you don't even want to look at the numbers.
Yeah.
It's too sad.
I bet.
These are, and we have more calculators coming. A cost of living based calculator. So if you live in Hawaii or Massachusetts or California or some other high cost of living areas, what could your labor rate look like? What would it look like if you had that cost of living adjustment for your area? Hawaii and Massachusetts stand out as good examples because they're so expensive to live there, but the labor rates that they get paid are below the national average. So it's completely upside down.
Wow.
And there's a lot of states like that. And there's other places that are cheap to live, maybe 88% of the national average. So they're 12% lower than the national average to live in, but they're getting paid $10, $15 an hour more than the national rate. So they're upside down in a good way.
Yes.
Whereas Massachusetts and Hawaii are kind of a bit backwards. And we see a lot of those inconsistencies around the country. So this calculator will help kind of bring that to light.
Yeah.
Body shops, enable them to compare themselves with other areas of the country that have similar costs of living. There's a wage-based calculator also coming soon. If you have to pay your technician $30 an hour and you need to make a certain gross profit margin on that, what do I need to charge to be able to afford my labor?
Yes.
Another simple calculation. So the labor rate question, what should I charge as my labor rate, is an important question that up until now, I think too many of the stories we've heard is, well, I basically, put on the wall, the posted rate on the wall is about $2 or $3 more than what the insurer pays me. So that every time one of their adjusters comes in the door, they see that I'm asking for a little bit more.
Right.
And for a long time, we heard that answer a lot. There wasn't any kind of real financial, business, mathematical kind of calculation as to why I needed a certain labor rate. And that's what Number Nerd helps with, because these guys are, like you say, they're busy, they're fixing cars. They don't have time to study economics and finance and build big spreadsheets and stuff. So we do that for them.
Yeah.
And then just turn it into a real easy to use tool
to
get to the answer. And it's really important to think about labor rates from multiple perspectives, like we just covered: inflation, cost of living, cost of business, supply and demand, wage levels, the market rates in my local area, market competition. All of those things go into ultimately what amounts to a business decision, where someone decides what they want to pay. Yeah. And they have a rationality behind it. They can explain their number.
Yes.
As opposed to, it's $2 or $3 more than the insurers pay.
Right. Yeah, I love all of it. And I think this is one area that the collision industry really lacks in, is really just knowing your numbers and why are the numbers the way that they are, and not even understanding the basics. And then, like you said, going and then talking about labor rates, increasing rates across the board, payroll, where should we be? I mean, all of these things that you really need to start taking into account to be able to be profitable. We just, as a former shop owner, I know I did not know my numbers the way I should have. And now, 15 years later, I look back and go, oh man, I could have done this, I could have done that. But you don't know what you don't know. But it's nice to have a tool that can help you decipher that pretty quickly, that you don't have to sit down and have a mathematics class and course on what to do, how to do it, kind of thing.
That's right. Yeah, it's important for shops to remember they're not just a shop, they're a business.
Yeah.
And a business is intended to be profitable.
Right.
And their profit is, the way we look at it, their profit is really a measure of how much value they're contributing to society. If you just take all the piece parts of everything, you pay for those, you assemble it all, and then you just sell it for the total value of all the piece parts, you haven't really added any value to it. But what they do has tremendous value. Taking all these parts and paint and materials and whatever, putting your car back together by hand, pretty much. The sum total of all the costs of those materials and labor is this, but what you deliver is worth that. And so you've got a big chunk of profit there. So I agree with you. We're all about helping them do the stuff they don't really need to know how to do, building the spreadsheets and doing all the math. It is important to have your arms around your numbers, no doubt. But when it comes to the tools, there's not a lot of value for them reinventing the wheel. It's a lot easier to just use tools that are there and available. And extremely affordable as well. Yeah.
So I guess that kind of takes us, I have a couple follow-up questions. So if somebody's interested to see how it works, is there a website or a YouTube channel they can go just to see like a trial run, somebody kind of walking through what does this look like? Because we're all imagining it, those of us not using it.
Great question. Yes, and we do this all day, every day. All day long. Richard, who's not with me today, but my business partner, Richard, handles most of our online demonstrations. So go to our website, National Autobody Research.com. You can just mouse over Power Pack, and there's an option for a free demo.
Okay.
You just sign up. We'll get in touch with you, and we'll just do this. We do a one-on-one Zoom call.
Yeah.
We share our screen and walk you through the tool, and it's the real thing. We don't use a demo version or fake data. Right. It's the actual product, real data. And that's, what we found is that's probably the most effective way to really understand it.
Yeah.
Because we can kind of tailor the conversation toward your shop, because you're in a rural market, or you're in LA or Dallas, a metro area, or anywhere in between, and you have this problem or that problem. And we can show how the tool addresses those issues that the shops have. It's a very, very flexible system. Whether your focus is increasing labor rates or increasing build hours or both, or you're thinking through, my sales mix of DRP versus non-DRP versus customer pay, or do I want to get certified and invest in that so I can go chase, Mercedes vehicles or something? We have a lot of data that can really help provide some good information, some good answers to those questions. And of course, my favorite thing is it's all data driven, so these people can make good quality business decisions based off of good data, and not think things that are not true. And we do see it's important to know what's real and true, and not be inventing ideas that they make
because it's how you feel.
That's right. That's right. We can have bad business decisions that way.
Yes.
Many times. So we like the fact that it's data driven and can help shops with objective decision making. So just go online, sign up for a demo.
Okay.
They're 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
Make a trial run. And most people, when they see it, and most of them recognize the value, and I need this, sign me up, and I need the help.
I definitely see the value, and where we're at in the industry right now, I think it's such a great tool. I recommend anybody listening to go to laborratehero.com and enter in your rates, because it really helps us collectively as an industry.
Right.
We can repair vehicles properly when we can get paid to repair vehicles properly.
Exactly.
So I appreciate the concept of what you guys have done. I think it's going to really help our industry as a whole. And I can see now why, after chatting with you, even more so now, why people are raving about it and why I'm seeing it all over these chat boards. So very cool. Great job.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
That's awesome. Well, I'm going to let you go.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. I know you've been hard at work all day, so I'm going to let you enjoy your evening. But I appreciate you coming on here and sharing all your information.
Thank you for having us. We've really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Thanks for the invitation.
So I'll put all of the contact information, website in the description. So for those that are interested, there'll be a link to the website. Obviously, if they have questions, I guess they could go to the website or contact you directly.
Yes, the website's got a contact us form or a contact info.
Okay.
Give us a call, shoot us an email. Anyway, we're available, and we try to get back to people as fast as we can.
Okay, perfect. Well, thanks again. And thank you, everybody, for listening to today's episode of the Body Banging Podcast. Until next time, bye.
If you enjoyed today's show, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We have some incredible topics and guests coming your way you will not want to miss. If you are watching on YouTube and don't want to miss the latest and greatest, you'll want to hit the bell after subscribing, so you will get a pop-up each time a video podcast goes live. To our devoted fans, would you mind paying it forward and sharing this little gem with someone else you think may benefit from it? Much love from all of us here at Body Bangin', all things Autobody.